Hey everybody, welcome. It is Bubba Solo here from Bubba Solo Gaming, and we're getting ready to read Deathbrand. Look at this beautiful book. This is going to be a pirate's tale. Ooh, how fun. And you can see, if you know Skyrim well, that we're in front of Embershard Mine there in the distance. You ready to read about some pirate excitement? I know I am. Deathbrand, a pirate's tale. Hawker Deathbrand was dying. For Garak Windrime, ship's master, it was unthinkable. His grandfather had served under Hakner nigh on 60 years before, and even then he was a legend among the pirates of the north. The king of ghosts, they called him, as eternal and pitiless as the sea he sailed. To Garak, who had seen him charge into battle, clad in armor gleaming stalrim like the kings of old, his twin swords scything men like grass, Hakner was practically a god. But none feared Hakner more than his own crew. They knew his rages, his fits of madness, and how he delighted in torture and murder for its own sake. There were even darker rumors. Some said he fed upon the blood and souls of those he killed to extend his unnatural life. I suck your blood. Some thought him a Daedra, loosed upon the mortal world, and others said he owed his life and power, his armor and swords, to a pact with Dagon, prince of destruction. And the seal of that pact was the terrible wound that scarred his face, never to heal, the Deathbrand, which no man could look upon without flinching. All these things ran through Garrick's mind as he took his place on deck at the head of the crew, exchanging a curt nod with Balian, the ship's helmsman, and his chief rival. By sundown, he thought one of them would be captain and the other would be dead. When Hakner finally emerged from his cabin, the crew fell silent. He looked frail, his voice raspy, but even so, he had a presence about him. As he looked over his men, the most brutal murderers ever to ply the northern seas, not one could meet his gaze. At last he sighed. You wish to know who will be my successor, and how my share of the treasure shall be divided. That was the question, but even so, there were murmurs of protest. Hakner cut them off. All these years I've looked for one who was worthy to take my place, or strong enough to take it from me. Not one of you even comes close, and so none of you shall have it. He extended his hand. In Dagon's name, I place a curse upon my armor and my swords, this ship and all it carries, until the day when one of you can best me in combat. You shall have not a single coin. He looked up at them. Be grateful I have left you with your lives. Garrick and Thalen shared a single glance. Had anyone else said such a thing, there would have been mutiny. 100 treasure-mad pirates against one old man? But this was Hakner, and the crew was silent. Hakner threw a map at Garrick's feet. Garrick, take a long boat, and bury my armor in the places I have marked. Thalen, we sail to my tomb, where you shall leave me with my gold. Then burn your ships and do as you will. I am your captain no more. And with that, he turned and stalked back to his quarters. At daybreak, Garrick took his leave and set out in a longboat with 3 of his men. They landed on a shoal to the north of Solstheim at the place Hakner had marked, made camp, and began to dig. But already greed stirred in Garrick's heart. Time and again he glanced at the iron-bound chest they had brought with them. The old man was gone, perhaps already dead. His orders, foolish. That night, Garrick pried open the chest and drew out the helm within. The stalrim shimmered in the moonlight. It was time for a new king of ghosts to rise. He placed the helmet on his head, and he screamed, "Ah! Ah!" It is said you can hear that screaming still on moonlit nights on a rocky shoal off the northern coast of Solstheim. Postscript. This story is one of the last in the Hakner saga, the tales surrounding the life and adventures of the legendary pirate king Hakner, Deathbrand. How much of it is actually true? If indeed any of it is true, I leave that to the reader's discretion. Artist Draylen, House of Redoran Scribe. So there you have it. Deathbrand. Oh, what a vicious pirate indeed. Missed. If you enjoyed reading along with me, click here to subscribe and click here for more videos. This has been Bubba Solo with Bubba Solo Gaming. I'd love to have you along for another reading adventure. Take care.